Yo, see, I got two messages from Crawford. Hold on.
Yeah,
See, October 17th, 2020, what he said there.
Tonight, remember. Say the jab, go to the body with a big hate to controlling his. All right, that's 20. That was 2020.
Now,
Wow. So shout out to Terence Crawford for giving Teofimo Lopez some good tips on how to beat Vasyl Lomachenko. As we all know that Teofimo Lopez, arguably biggest victory of his career, was beating Vasyl Lomachenko October 17th of 2020. When Vasyl Lomachenko was regarded pound for pound, 1, 2, 3, you could flip it around. Terence Crawford was as supportive of Teofimo Lopez and gave him some instruction via text. And credit Teofimo Lopez for executing what Terence Crawford did see and how to beat Vasyl Lomachenko and take away his strengths. And if you see the fight, if you remember the fight, the first half of the fight, Teofimo Lopez did go to the body, to the solo plex, jab the solo plex. He did an incredible job in handcuffing Vasyl Lomachenko. But also credit his father that was trainer of the year as well, Teofimo Lopez, that came with the master game plan. Shout out to Joey Gamache as well that helped to form the game plan for Teofimo Lopez to beat Vasyl Lomachenko, in which he was the underdog. A lot of people wasn't confident that Teofimo Lopez could actually outbox Vasyl Lomachenko, in which I predicted that he was going to outbox him. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people felt that Teofimo Lopez just got to punch his chance, or he didn't have enough experience. Yet Teofimo Lopez in his biggest victory, in his biggest fight, handcuffed Vasyl Lomachenko. Vasyl Lomachenko, as we all know, tried to rally up, but it was too late. And then in the championship, in the last round, Teofimo Lopez, outdogged Vasyl Lomachenko. Now, of course, ever since that victory, you know what I'm saying, it was early in his career, and that victory really spoiled the boxing fans. Any performance less than that, it's like an underperformance with Teofimo Lopez. People feel like he has a reputation of not performing to the level of his expectations or the level of his contemporary or opponent. That he fights to the level of his opponent or performs. Yeah, at the end of the day, he's a two-time lineal champion. If it wasn't for the politics of the sport of boxing, Teofimo Lopez could have been recognized and should have been recognized as the first two-division undisputed world champion because, of course, the WBC franchise got in the way of Lomachenko's and Teofimo Lopez's legacy. And also when he moved up to the 140-pound division and beat Josh Taylor, who was the reigning undisputed lineal champion, he vacated his belts. That didn't give the opportunity for Teofimo Lopez to be recognized worldwide as the first two-division undisputed world champion by the age of 25. But if you were hardcore boxing fans and you could identify the politics and what transpired leading up to those fights, you could understand that Teofimo Lopez, that's why he is the two-time lineal champion and should have been recognized as the first two-time lineal champion by the age of 25, in which Terence Crawford later on did accomplish that, right, when he beat Earl the True Spence. Now, we all know that Teofimo Lopez and Bud Crawford has run-ins, has a lot of drama. They was cool once before. Teofimo Lopez used to support Terence Crawford. They were stable mates. Terence Crawford used to support Teofimo Lopez. But, of course, there's no friends in the sport of boxing when it gets chippy. And Teofimo Lopez is a person that always wanted there to be great. And his call-outs was primarily because he wants to fight the best. The name is the takeover, and if a lot of people do consider Terence Crawford as the pound for pound number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you can flip it around. He knows that that's it to fight the greatest fighter of right now of his generation. That is realistic for him to fight because they're closer in weight. Let's not forget that when Teofimo Lopez beat Josh Taylor, the next month, Terence Crawford is going up against his hardest fight, the best fight of his career versus Earl the True Spence. So it was 140-pound, calling out 147-pound fighter. You know what I'm saying? A lineal champion calling out another lineal champion. Hopefully, as we all know, well, Terence Crawford going to be moving up 3 division up, 2 divisions technically to fight Canelo Alvarez. But in my opinion, it was more realistic for a Teo and a Bud and Canelo. But Turkey Al Sheikh got the bag, he got the money, And it is what it is. This is prize fighting. And hey, if Turkey Al Sheikh wants to see his fantasy fight come to fruition and he's willing to pay anything for it, hey, it is what it is, man. Kudos to both of the fighters that's going to get paid. I think it's a mismatch, but it is what it is. Let's see what Terence Crawford is going to, what type of challenges he's going to bring to the table versus Vasyl Lomachenko. As of Teo, we all know that he's going to be fighting Arnold Barbosa May 2nd, Times Square, New York City. In that card, the hardest fight, I think it'll probably be the more competitive fight because Arnold Barbosa did beat Jose Ramirez. That's going to be fighting Devin Haney. And Ryan Garcia, who hasn't become a champion yet, is going to be fighting Rolly Romero. I think that Teofimo Lopez got the harder task. So y'all already know this is Punch Unboxing, a.k.a. Mr. Moonshine himself. Subscribe to the channel, smash the like button. Love you, God bless, and on to the next.